I represent the Glory Moon section of Harford County, District B. And don't forget Joppa's Bingos every Wednesday night at 6:30. Thank you.
Gloria Moon, you know, the neighbor up.
On that roof, yeah. I'm Paul Morris, I'm the chair.
I'm Melissa DeRisca, Edgewood.
Bob Brooks, I'm here.
And our secretary, who takes fantastic minutes, and he's really good.
Oh, yeah.
And so did Gloria, so thank you.
Oh, no, I hate it.
Okay, so we will go to Sheriff's Office Captain, we do you want.
Hey, hello everybody, how are you? This is the crime report for September 6th to October 5th, so it's comparing 2024 numbers to 2025 numbers. In 2024, our top 3 calls for service were suspicious incidents, checks on subjects, and alarms. And then for this year, during that time frame, 1 and 2 are the same. Number 3 is animal complaint. So the alarms fell out of the top 3 and animal complaints came in.
What are they complaining about?
Well, we get, you name it, we get it.
Is that domestic animals or just dogs?
Both, all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want,
Yeah. Dogs off leash. It could be a bat in the attic. We get them all. Total calls for service are down 1% from last year to this year during that time frame, and crashes are up 11%, 28 to 31. So 3 additional crashes. As far as our part 1 crimes go, there's negative change to all except for rapes. There was 1 and 1. Assaults, there were 8 versus 9, so 1 increase there. And then we had an increase in thefts. It went from 28 last year to 42 this year. Overdoses were down, auto thefts were down, assaults down, robberies down, and then homicides. There was 1 last year and then 0 this year. So that is everything for the crime report. I always report out on the school bus violations. So year to date, total, there's been 752 school bus violations.
I find that so incredible.
Last week, from the 29th to the 3rd, there were 87 of them.
How much is that fine? That's a big fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big fine. It's bigger when we witness it in person, and we're out there doing that as well.
How much is it?
In person, it's 500, and it's half that when it's a school bus. So 30% of those are in the morning, 70% in the afternoon. So the afternoon is definitely the prime time for these violations to occur. In this Edgewood Joppa area, I've talked about these spots before. It's Hanson Road that dead ends at Magnolia, right there. That's one of the hot spots. And then the Motel 6, or it's called America's Best now, Edgewood Road by 24. There's a few elementary school age children that live in the America's Best Hotel there, and the bus stops there, kind of right in front of the Jamaican Spice restaurant, right in there. That's the 2 hot spots down in this area. Actually, we get those hot spots emailed to me every week, and I sent it out to the entire precinct this morning actually. So we increase our enforcement at those school bus stops especially.
I think I might have asked this last time, I don't remember. Aside for the fines, do they get points on their license?
No. When the school bus camera does it, no, they do not.
Okay.
But if you write, they do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe.
I can't remember what what the points are. I'm not sure.
I don't
But
understand
when it's
how
witnessed
somebody-
by us, it's a different violation
I
category.
don't understand how you can miss a stop sign that comes out from the side of the bus that says stop and see children getting off.
They just drive past.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
To do that.
Just some other information on this Friday, the 10th at 5 p.m. We have our trunk or treat up at the college, Harford Community College, off 401 Thomas Run Road. It's a great event. And then on the 18th, I believe that's the following Friday or Saturday, at the Friendship Park on Woodsdale Road, there's the family movie night, and it starts at 5:45 p.m. That's all I have.
Questions?
Question about the animal control. We're getting a lot of complaints in Harford Square about either animals being off the leash or animals, I don't know where they're coming from, but they're biting the other dog. So I've just been telling them to contact animal control because I don't have animals. There's nothing we can do as board members, and I know I don't know what the police can do, but is this contacting animal control the best route?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know why it's an uptake, but just recently we've had like a huge uptake in animals attacking other animals. So I'm not sure what else we can do to help with that, other than, continue to say, hey, put your dogs on leashes and things like that. It seems pretty simple.
I know you have a relationship with Sergeant Sanchez. He works in the same division as the animal control supervisor.
Okay.
So if you reach out to him, maybe some education material they could pass on to you so you can forward it out through the HOA to the community.
Okay.
Maybe some like tips, like some information animal control has.
Okay.
Can you, I don't know whether you give me any further information on this, but right next door to me, 415 Shore Drive, where they were about a month ago, at the same time, the police raided it, the animal control center and the health department all raided this house all at the same time.
Yeah.
And they found, I don't know how many dead cats in there in cages that they starved to death and they, with no water, and they actually were dead.
Yeah.
And I talked to one of the deputies as they were coming out, carrying out. I said, how many cats is this? And they said, I don't know, dozen, maybe or more.
Yeah.
And we've been complaining about this for years, and finally, they raided and they knocked the door down, and now they've contaminated the house. So, trying to make a long story short, is there any way to find out where that's at? Because the house was supposed to go on auction, at the end of August, and somehow they maneuver it legally to get it off the auction block a couple hours before it was supposed to go to auction. But it's a detriment to the community, it's terrible, it's a mess, for that kind of neighborhood, or any neighborhood. The smell out of there was absolutely, I went over there and the door was open, I walked in, lasted 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I had to send a guy home. He was infested with fleas. He was one of the ones inside. He was covered in fleas. We had to decon him and get him home and change. That's the civil side with the banks and who owns the property and the sale and all that stuff. I'm not gonna be able. I don't have any information on it.
So there's nothing else legally that can be done through the.
Criminal through the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you know of?
Nothing. No.
Sad state of affairs.
The stop arm violation hotspot at 24 and Edgewood Road. You said there's a handful of students that live in the hotel. It's not your call, but maybe it's something that the sheriff's office and the rest of the community can kind of encourage the schools to maybe move the stop off the road into the parking lot. Like if everyone getting off at that bus stop is in a hotel, if they could move the bus stop in there, it eliminates the possibility of someone running the stop on camera and running over a kid. Is that something that the sheriff's office could lobby for a little bit? Maybe, send a letter along with my letter that I'll send, or email, since you guys are the ones that enforce it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a suggestion, but I'll send a letter. I got no problem emailing the Board of Education.
Yeah, I'll connect with we have a traffic unit that oversees the bus stop violation unit. We have actually a person dedicated to it. So, and we're constantly analyzing and trying to identify the hotspots and have solutions to those hotspots. They do meet. I know they have their open dialogue with the school board and transportation. I don't know if those conversations have been had. I'm sure they've had thought about some things. I'll bring it up and I'll see what that dialogue's been like. They suggested.
I got a ticket there. That bus driver needs to put his stop sign up. You're here and you pull up to him, he throws his stop sign on. He needs to put it on before like he'll be sitting there, he don't even have his lights on, and you pull up to him, he flips it on.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you need to re-educate the driver a little bit.
We have a trailer that's on back end and Pirates, and it's impeding the traffic. I've been up here numerous times, complaining about this. It sticks out so far.
What was the result of the?
I don't know.
Okay.
Can you get that information for me?
Yes,
I know.
absolutely. Yep.
It's still there.
One in front of the ground.
My name is okay.
I got you. Well, let's go take care of it.
Kim, this is a multi-part question. First of all, to kind of take off on one gentleman here about the bus stop. There was recently something in reference to a foster child that was living in a hotel or a motel that recently died. Is there any way to look into the fact, are these students part of the foster program that are getting off there and going to that hotel?
I don't know, that,
That wasn't for us.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not familiar with that incident. I don't know if it was in Baltimore City or in our jurisdiction, but, okay, Baltimore City. So, that hotel there at that intersection, that corner, they have, long-term rooms, and there's families that live in there, and you know, I don't know that, I don't believe they're in foster care. There could be students there that are, but I believe they're with their families there.
Okay, and second part of this question, and just remind me, as far as I know, left-hand turns on red are illegal, correct?
Unless it's two one-way streets, right? Yeah, it's illegal otherwise.
All right, so say 24 in Edgewood Road, if a couple of school buses were sitting there with a red arrow for the left turn
Yes,
and made left-hand turns on red.
it's a traffic violation.
Okay.
I have a question.
One more quickie, I'm told the law is that they can do it for 48 hours, so tell me what the law is here. On Shore Drive, come down Shore Drive, after you pass Bridge Drive, and you go into the townhomes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has a huge motorhome parked on the front lawn, which is taking up the entire front of the house, all the way across, it's across, the sidewalk, it's got the sidewalk blocked, and, it's been there for a couple of months.
Yeah, that's an absolute parking violation.
Can you send somebody down there? Go down Shore Drive, you pass Bridge, go down Bridge, you can't miss it. Go down Bridge, go down maybe, 15, 20 houses, you'll see it, it's taking up the whole front of the house.
Okay, yep, we'll look at it.
on the right-hand side, right?
Yeah.
For these parking violations, if they're, sometimes, I get information through, one great resource is through the county resource portal, it's Click It or Fix It. You could upload these parking, or just call us and we can come out when they're actually there. Oftentimes we find, and I'll send somebody out to both of these, but they may or may not be there by the time we make it to get there. You know, I'm not sure we'll be able to get there tonight, but we will.
It's been there a
as soon as
couple
we can.
months, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
so it may be there.
This one is connected to a truck, which has a plate, they usually look up who owns the
That's
truck
what-
that it's for.
Yes, yep.
I had a question. So with the new laws that were just passed, can you tell us of any that we need to be aware of from the district?
That if you drive over 30 miles an hour above the posted speed limit, it's not gonna be reckless driving.
Is not?
It is now going to be, and it's a jailable offense. You can go to jail for it.
Did y'all hear that?
Or jail, but you
Thank you.
Yes.
What was the other 400 passing?
Yeah.
Carol, you had a question?
I would say, how many vehicles do you have on your property that are untagged and whatever? There's one house that has the whole yard with stuff and vehicles in their driveway.
Is it on their private property?
It's on their property.
Do you have a HOA?
No,
That it becomes difficult for us in enforcement there with the private property.
so it's okay to have untagged vehicles?
No, I think you could only have two, and that's only for 6 months, right, Dion?
I'm not sure, they tell me different stories, I get different stories on it, because I've got the same problem on Shore Drive, there's a house there, it's got no license tag on the car at all,
Yeah.
for years, it's just been sitting there.
I think they're supposed to keep them, from public view. So, you know, if you've got them in a building or behind bushes or something, it's okay, but if they're just sitting there untagged for over 6 months,
In a residential neighborhood. So
yeah, I think that,
I'm not sure exactly. How many vehicles are there?
I can't tell because there's so much stuff.
Okay. Do you have the address handy?
It's on Garnett, right? If you come from Trimble to Garnett, it's the second house past Hazlitt.
Okay.
What is the
On the
law
right.
for untagged vehicle on,
I'd have to look it up.
in the driveway?
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
If we, this is for a community, if we have no trespassing signs posted, and people are living outside in bushes or trees, under trees. If we call you all, can you ask them to leave the?
Yes, what we could do is, as far as the HOA's own property, yeah, and we could have conversations with them and conduct a field interview, identify who they are, and plug them in resources and try to, if they're, unhoused, and try to get them some resources within the county. And then we could have conversations that go beyond that as far as banning them from the property or enforcing whatever violations we may witness during the encounter. So you just, if you have those kind of individuals in your community and just give us a call.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Did you have a question?
I did. My best friend is the assistant manager at Gabe's. She's at work right now, so she couldn't come. They had an instance this past week where they had people with ski masks that came into their store and robbed them. Now, their store policy is you cannot engage at all because the store would be liable if anything were to happen to anyone in the store. They had a manager that quit. She literally walked out after the shift and never came back.
Yeah.
So she just wanted me to put that on your radar to let you know that that's happening. They would love to call you. She said, I'd love to clock out, go across the street, call, and come back.
Yeah.
But she can't afford to lose her job. So she just wanted someone that doesn't work there that's allowed to say it. And I've invested interest because my kid works there.
Yeah.
So I'm completely freaked out that that's going to happen when he's there. He's not always the best with social situations, so he would probably say something, no, he's not supposed to, but do it anyway. And I don't want anything to happen to anybody shopping there or working there or anything. Just so that that's on your radar.
Yeah, the crime stats that I gave earlier, the one crime category that was an increase, and it was a 50% increase, is theft, and a majority of those are shoplifting thefts. And I'm tracking it from as the precinct stance. We are putting together shoplifting details along the 40 corridor. We have a big problem at a couple of the like dollar stores along here that we're tracking and watching. I am keeping a pulse on that, I promise you. I run hotspot reports for crime types, and we're definitely tracking on that.
Hang on 1 second, I had a question here first and then you next.
Just wanted to follow up on the no loitering. So we're in the HOA, of course, and we have no loitering everywhere. And we're trying to aggressively get the community back in order. So what can we do about the amount of folks who are coming in, knocking on doors, trying to either sell or advertise or whatever, soliciting, thank you. Soliciting, thank you, Lisa. What can we do, or is there someone in the police space that we're able to call about the no soliciting?
If you have solicitors, give us a call. If they're, we can come out and check. They're required to get a solicitor's license through the county, and oftentimes we find they do not do that, and that's the easy way for us to enforce that violation. They typically do not go through the proper channels. And
so even if they have a license, but we're private property and we say no soliciting, they still shouldn't be on our property, right?
so that's a little bit more difficult of a conversation. I'll follow up with you. I have the contact information as far as your roadways and such.
Gentleman in the back.
Yes, sir.
To go back to the shoplifting, can you make it a point to report out on that every meeting?
I can ask our crime analyst. We have offense codes that we track these crimes through, and I think they may be able to do that. So for NIBRS is what we use for National Incident-Based Reporting Statistics, and theft is a 23F, for example. But we have our own codes next to it that are like theft from motor vehicle, theft, shoplifting. I can see if they can break that out or not. I can make that request. I'm not sure that that's a capability or not.
Going forward in terms of maybe economic development, that might be a statistic that we want to track. It may create a certain perception that could be a drag in terms of trying to get people, businesses into their stores. If we've got the number, then we can evaluate that.
Yeah.
And see if we can't go to work on that.
One of the challenges, which is what was brought up earlier, is the corporate of these businesses aren't following up, right? So, and we've had it happen at Gabe's, right? Where we see a suspicious subject leave a store at a fast pace, we actually initiate a stop and have chasing them, stop them, and they have stolen merchandise. Well, at the end of the day, if they're not going to follow through with the prosecution, it's all for nothing. I mean, there's nothing being done. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of corporate. The stance is just that. hands off, don't call, let it go. Not all, but a majority, I'd say.
But if you could look in to see if you can report those out, it might be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last question. I have 2 questions.
Oh,
I
sorry.
live in Gunpowder Point, and we called up on Joppa Crossing Court. There are like 3 or 4 cars that block the fire hydrant. They do it every day and every night when they get off. And if a fire comes up and they can't get to it, I mean, I'm sure they could, but I thought you had to be a certain feet away from that fire. We reported, and they still continue to do it. We've called up the office. And then I have another issue. I live on Enfield, and Enfield's like a boulevard. I've asked to see if our HOA, management company could see if we can get, you know how they had those patrol car, screens that just, just temporarily to put on there, because when they get up to Joppa Crossing Way and Enfield, they zoom down there like they on the Beltway. And I try to stop them, tell them to slow down, and I get the finger every time. But they do it, and it's like a beltway.
Yeah.
And we asked to see if we can get them just to put that down there for a couple of weeks or something to slow them down, because somebody's gonna get hurt.
We could also look at doing a speed study there, to see what the actual speeds are and how often, how frequent it captures all that data. So I'll talk to the traffic unit about that. Now that's Enfield at coming down toward 40?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right at that corner, that hill coming down.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so
Yep.
much.
Thank you all.
Okay, so our guest speaker for this evening is the Director of the Department of Public Works, Joe Siemek. Joe, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. When I started with the county, oh gosh, it's been 9.5 years ago. Didn't spend a whole lot of time down here, down in this part of the county. Public Works they took care of everything the much as they always had been, but there wasn't a focus. And when the current county executive, Mr. Castley, came in, and I think he was the senator, I think, for this area, and he said, look, we're gonna show some more activity, we're gonna be more visible, we're going to take care of more things. You know, yes, sir, we'll do it. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna just run through a couple things. You probably have already seen a lot of these, because a lot of the work that we do are visible and are noticeable, at least I hope they are. And then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about the things or the issues that you might have on your mind. Starting with roads, just in the past 3 years, we've resurfaced over 20 miles of county road within the South County area. At 73 separate individual county roads. And we are scheduled to do another 5 miles on 26 roads between now and then the spring. So a little bit to be done before the weather turns and then the spring. So it's something that we are really focusing on. Some of the older roads within the county are down this way. So we're really trying to make, it makes our job easier too when the roads are in good shape. Street sweeping. We typically had a single street sweeper for each of the 4 districts scattered all throughout the counties. Well, we recognize that there's a lot more concentration of roadways and roads and all that down in this area. So we made a purchase of an additional one of those sweepers, assigned it to this area, and now there's 2 of those that are going around, and quarterly they should be covering every single road down along here to the best they can. We'd love to be able to do more, depending on where funding goes, but it's something that we think has made a difference. Fire hydrants. Get used to seeing fire hydrants. They're little things that you hope you never need. Well, we have, our water and sewer folks are in business to try to make sure that they stay in good condition. We like them to look good, we get it, but it's most important that they be cleaned, sandblasted, good coating of paint, so that when the fire department or the volunteer fire company has to get to that, A, they want to be able to find it, B, they want to be able to operate it. So those efforts, you'll be able to see those because they're pretty noticeable that they turn a really nice bright yellow after that happens. Streetlights. We are working in conjunction with BG&E to convert a number of streetlights into LEDs. Brighter light, costs less to run, and then so we actually, in addition to the ones that we already did in partnership with BG&E, we contributed $100,000 of county funds
to a grant program that matched that with $400,000 more. So now we have $500,000 that's gonna be spent between now and next year on additional streetlights above and beyond what we've already done. Again, that is in what we call the South County area of the county. Community cleanups. I don't know or don't remember having any down here really in the first 5 or 6 years that I've been here. But since then, we have completed over 15 community cleanups. 50 dumpster loads were taken out up to either to our landfill or to the one in Baltimore County, including almost 200,000 pounds of trash. That went to those dumpsters that we got out, that who knows where it would have gone. So we're glad to be able to do that. There is one coming up, full disclosure, Deerfield Elementary School on the 11th, which I think is this Saturday if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna continue to do that. When folks ask for it, whether it be an HOA or individuals or communities, and we'll do what we can. Couple of road and bridge projects. The Abingdon Road Bridge, which crosses over the CSX Railroad, that's the connection from Route 40 up into Abingdon. About a 75-year-old bridge over that railroad. It is in not great condition, and we've been working very hard with the railroad in order to be able to get the authorization to be able to rebuild that bridge. And if any of you ever had the misfortune or the unfortunate opportunity to work with railroads, they work at the pace that they work at and they don't care about anything else. However, we've been fortunate that we've been able to work that towards, and we expect that construction to start in 2027. The reason I bring it up, and we're gonna tell people about it as we get closer to that time, is there's only 3 places that have roads that cross over bridges over that CSX. One is 543 and one is 24. And then there's Abingdon Road Bridge in the middle. So when that's closed, and we're gonna try to accelerate it so it's only closed for about 4 months through the summer, as not to affect too many of the bus drivers, that's a long detour for any folks that are used to doing that. So we're gonna try to make sure that we get that taken care of. New road construction, right down here in Edgewood, it's called Ivanhoe Street. It's a road that's gonna connect from Willoughby Beach Road directly to Cedar Road. I keep saying Cedar Lane because that's where my kids played soccer. Cedar Road. Drive, excuse me. And then that is going to construction, I think it's gonna be either this winter or right after the first of the year. And that'll provide another way in and out of that big copper mine ball field. So that's gonna help the circulation of that traffic throughout that pretty intensive residential area. Joppa Farm Road at Trimble Road. It is one of the few traffic signals that's actually on a county road that we own. It is scheduled for that entire intersection. The signal is going to be replaced. And then it's going to include camera detection for when the red lights go on and go off. It's going to include pedestrian indicators with crosswalks to go across the road, as well as curb and ADA compliant sidewalk ramp. So that intersection will be a lot better. We expect that that's going to go to construction right after the first of the year when the weather breaks as well. And then last is an advance announcement. There's going to be, I think, a press release going out sometime very shortly, is Bridge Drive, on the bridge. It needs repair, and the repairs are on the underside of it. And so that is going to be scheduled to close the bridge starting on October 20th and going for 6 weeks. We thought it was, we knew it was important to do because I don't know about bridges, but I know my bridge engineers say, we take care of the bridge, we will. And we didn't want to have it in the winter, for one. We didn't want to have it around the holidays. So if we didn't do it now in this window of time, we wouldn't be able to start on it until another winter goes by, and we didn't want to take that chance. So there'll be a formal announcement about detour routes and timing, but at least I had the opportunity to be here and share those couple of things that I'm very proud of as the Director of Public Works for the things that we've been able to do for this community, this part of the county. So with that, I am yours, and I'll answer whatever questions you have, and I'll let her orchestrate who I'm gonna answer. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to know, the new street lights, where are you talking about down here in Edgewood exactly you gonna put them at? Do you know?
Joppa Farm Road at Trimble.
That's it?
That's the only one we have.
No,
Every other street light, hang on, every other
Not
street light is on a state road and a county road. State highway owns those traffic lights.
I'm talking
She
about
meant
the ones
street
you're
lights.
talking about putting in street lights, the,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought you meant the traffic lights, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't bring my map down. I will send you all, we've got a map of the ones we've done and the areas that we are scheduled to do.
Okay.
When they're up, you'll notice them, and they are very, very noticeable, but I'll make sure that you do that. Yes, sir.
There's an online question from Keith Wagner. He would like to know if Joppa Farm Road is going to be repaved.
The short answer is yes. When, I can't tell you, because I don't know. We own about 1,000 miles of county road, and we do our best to resurface those roads as often as we can that funding allows. Up until the Great Recession back in, I guess, 08, 09, we used to receive about $12 to $15 million from State Highway Administration, our share of the gas tax that we used to repave roads. Well, that number went to $2 million very quickly. It made it back to about 6. I'm told in the early budget projections it's going down again, so the budget people are going to work that out. We do our best to get to the roads. We analyze every road, every one of those 1,000 miles, every summer to see what their exact condition is. And so those that are showing more wear and tear or the degradation is happening faster, then they move up our priority list. So specifically when, I don't know, but it is something that I have recognized that it's the gateway to the Joppatowne community. So I understand the importance, but the specifics about the timing, I don't know.
Okay, and then Michael Perone wants to know, is Joppa Farm Road going to be completed through to Fort Hoyle Road? That was planned at one point, but everything seems to have ceased.
I know that Joppa Farm Road winds through, there's a new development that's being built.
Right, there's two different sides right now, and then there's a patch of grass in the middle. The two sides don't connect yet. So one side of Joppa Farm Road comes off of Fort Hoyle Road.
Okay.
And then one side of Joppa Farm Road is the long stretch that we were just talking about. The question is that going to connect eventually, or is there a timeline on that?
Not that I know of, other than I understood that was part of the responsibility of that developer that was building the portion where I think there are townhouses that are going in there, that he was going to, or that developer was intended to make that connection.
Okay.
But I'll find out for you for sure.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
The highway funds
sorry.
that the state gives us, that's our money, isn't it? That
Well-
we pay for property taxes.
It was gas tax. And
Gas tax.
before 2009, it was actually a percentage of the gas tax revenues that were paid by Harford County that went to the state that they returned to us. And every other county, too. That's the way it was set up, and that's the way it was intended. After the governor at the time made the decision to take all that money and keep it for whatever the state wanted to do, the formula went away. It then became whatever the state thought that they wanted to give to the counties. And so this wasn't just Harford County that was hurt in that situation. It was every county in the state, including Baltimore City, in addition to Baltimore City. And so even now, the calculation is what we keep calling it highway user revenue, because that's what we called it for a long time. But now it's really just grant money that they can choose to give out or not. So there'll be a lot of discussions, I'm sure, at the legislature and the governor's office on what they might want to do about that. I hope that we can get more and more, because that's one of the major funding things that helps us keep our roads in good shape.
the gas tax went up and our benefits went down.
I don't disagree.
I appreciate that. I know early in the season, I went under the bridge and I called your office about needing you guys one, because Halloween on Shore Drive is absolutely insane. I mean, you can't even have a car on Shore Drive on Halloween. There's thousands of kids, they bust them in here and everything else, and they go from one end of Shore Drive, or where it comes right into Joppatowne, right into Rumsey Island, all the way down to Parker's Point. It is just loaded. And if we shut the bridge down, you know, before Halloween, there's only gonna be one way in and one way out, and it's gonna be insane. So, I don't know if you could change.
I understand, and your concerns were echoed to me, which I appreciate. Unfortunately, if we don't start until November, two bad things are gonna happen. Number one, we'll then have it closed through Thanksgiving and into the holidays. And number two, we live in Maryland. We don't know what the weather's gonna be. It could be 82 degrees at the end of November. We could get our first snowfall. We don't wanna we can't take that chance. So I'll mention it to the folks again, but again, in order to get the work that we need to do that needs the warmer temperature, you know, before we get too cold into the winter.
And the lights, you talked about the LED lights. Remember early in the season, they were going to, we had problems with half the lights in Copenhagen Park, on the football field.
Okay.
And, they started fixing them, and Bob mentioned something about, they were gonna change them all to LED lights, because they're old now, and.
The ones on the ball field.
Yeah, on the ball field. I remember about 20 years ago, when we got all the new lighting updated. Now that lighting is old, and we can't even get parts for it.
I'll mention that to Paul Magnus, our director for, Rob will,
They were talking about they were gonna update them with LED lights.
No, I understand, but that would be Parks and Rec, not me.
Jeff,
Gotcha.
and then Bill, Jeff, go ahead.
Yes.
Two quick ones.
Sure.
Common area mowing on county roads, so like the median on Joppa Farm Road, the medians on, you know, whatever other roads. That is Public Works, correct? Am I mistaken there? Okay.
Most of the time, yes.
Most of the time. What about the grass median on a sidewalk, between a sidewalk and a street that is not in front of anybody's property? My recollection in 20 years in Joppatowne is that the county has always mowed that strip on Joppa Farm Road from the post office back to the sign at Doncaster, and the sidewalk on the post office side of the street. That side of the street on the post office, from the bridge to the post office, has not been touched by anybody except for myself and other residents who have volunteered our time to mow that part. It is a pain in the ass for me to drive my tractor from my house up there, because I don't have a trailer to pull it up there. I swear it has always been the county that has done that, or whatever contractor you guys hire each season, that has done the sidewalk as well as the median. You guys have done a great job getting that median done all summer long, and I appreciate it. That sidewalk needs a little help. My second question is on Click It Fix It. You Click We Fix. Can you tell us a little bit more about, I guess, the backroom dealings of what happens when somebody submits a Click It Fix It?
Okay. Here's how the system works. If you or I'm a county resident, go in and log it in, whatever the situation is, whatever you're reporting, and you heard, I think, the sheriff's deputy mentioned about it too, for their concerns. They all go to a central person or group of persons in the administration in 220 Main Street. And then that person reviews them and then forwards them out to the appropriate agency or department or whoever it might be. So for example, if it is a pothole, she knows, the person that does it for the most part, she knows to forward it to our highway maintenance. She doesn't send it to me, because I'll have to send it to somebody and send it to somebody.
Yeah.
So she tries to put those requests in the hands of the, I'll call it the staff level manager person that would actually get it done. And then and I'll use the pothole example, is Once we have done it, we are supposed to report back to her, or back to that group of folks, that it's done, it's completed, so that they have the opportunity to report back to the individual.
Sure.
And the idea is that there will always be a record of every one of those calls, complaints, suggestions, whatever they might be, that can always be looked back at to make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to do.
Sure.
So that's how it works.
Can I ask a follow-up to that?
Sure.
Is how, within your department, within one sub-agency, let's say water, sewer, or roads, highway maintenance, whatever, how do your agencies, how do your departments triage those incoming reports? The reason I ask, because I'll give you a real world example. In the middle of August, after we had all those torrential storms, the Joppatowne flooded and then flooded again, and then almost flooded a third time. There's a storm drain at the end of Shell where it connects to Doncaster. The curbing is literally falling into the storm drain. It's falling in. It was pointed out to me. I went down, took a couple pictures, submitted on Click It Fix It. This was mid-August. A crew came out, put a placard in front of it, and then later in the week they put 2 big orange pylons with caution tape across it, and it sat like that for 2 months now, month and a half.
Okay.
In Bel Air, a very prominent Facebook page posted in September what looked like, from the picture, I don't have any confirmation, from the picture they posted, looked like a similar concern that they submitted on Click It Fix It, and it was addressed in 24 hours with repairs being made.
Okay.
So that's the reason. I'm not making an accusation.
No, I understand.
I'm curious as to where things are in the process.
Okay.
And how that gets determined.
Very fair question. For one, I'm glad to hear that in both cases, somebody from our shop responded to find out how bad the issue was. I will find out. You said that was at Shell and Doncaster?
Shell, yeah, Chell. I pronounce it Shell. It might be Shell. I don't know.
Okay. I'll do it phonetically. Okay. So I will find out specifically about the time frame. But what I do know is, on occasion, because there's a common problem in the county, every county. If it is I'll call it a minor repair, a little bit of asphalt or some concrete patching, that can be done very quickly. Once the guys and the gals lift up the frame and cover and look down inside, if there is a structural problem below grade, like inside the box, where the walls are falling in, that's a different amount of work
for sure
that needs to be done. So I don't know, in that case I'll find out, but I know that sometimes those types of repairs take longer, because a lot of times we'll have to hire that out for a contractor. We just want to make sure nobody drives over it. But that response and those decisions are not made based on where the complaint was made from or where the repairs are.
My assumption is
but it's a fair question.
The severity of the repair that I submitted is to a point where it wasn't a quick fix, and that's why it hasn't been anything done yet except for the pylons. But I did also follow up my Click It Fix It with an email to the generic DPW email address.
Okay.
Just to make sure that it got seen.
Sure.
And it did get seen, but I didn't get an email response, and I didn't necessarily expect one. But I was kind of hopeful, optimistic that someone would say, hey, that is a very serious major repair we're gonna have to do, or whatever the situation may be. It might be 6 months. It might be, whatever.
Okay.
Just curiosity, trying to understand how it all works.
Bill, you had a question there?
Yeah. And then good news and bad news, your inspectors are doing a good job at Ridgely Reserve. The bad news is nobody else is. We're approaching 400 violations. You could have collected, I guess, 18, 20 million if you 10,000 per violation per day over this time. You've done nothing for 4 years for all intents and purposes, $20,000 on a $300 million project. It's been a disaster down here for 4 years. It continues to be a disaster. And also, this is just a simple request. I've made this request to the county multiple times. Have the grass planted before the frost.
otherwise we'll have 6 months of more disaster.
Understood.
Adam?
I'm interested in a project that's been kicked down the road for, I think, 15 years. There was supposed to be a widening or something to do with Trimble Road, and presuming that the county continues to pursue the community center for Joppa off of Trimble Road, I think that's going to become even more important. I have something that said that the project was supposed to be constructed in fiscal year 2028, but I have something now that's saying that that's pushed out to 2030. Do we have any status on what that looks like?
Off the top of my head, I do not. I do know that we're beginning the budget season now to see scheduling out for the next 5 years what funds are going to be spent on which projects. And that's just beginning as far as the next round. So we'll know more about what those schedules are for that widening project probably by the time, I guess, when the budget gets submitted, come January, February, I guess, of next year, we'll know more about when there's going to be money to do things that we find important to do.
If possible, with that project, currently it's slated to go from Joppa Road to Garnett Road. Right past Garnett Road is the entrance to Robert Copenhaver Park. It's a very dangerous place to cross the road. The sidewalk doesn't continue on. It's tough. I don't know what you could do there, but if there's something to be done there, that seems like a great time to do it, because we have Joppatowne rec kids and visiting teams crossing there all the time. The visiting teams are the ones that are the danger, because they don't understand what's about to happen. And the rec council has done a pretty good job of trying to figure out a way to ameliorate the process, but it's dangerous every single weekend that there's a football game up there.
I understand.
Joe, a speed bump would be right there. A speed bump, where he's talking about.
Okay.
One person at a time, we have 2 questions up there.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the shopping center in Edgewood, when the one right there where CVS is, when you pull into the shopping center, it's a pothole there about this big, and it's been there a while. And I was wondering when they gonna fix it?
In the shopping center
In
parking
the
lot?
shopping center parking lot.
The entrance of it,
Yeah,
coming around?
real big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, CVS, yeah, what CVS is. It's
'Cause,
big.
Yeah, the county, for one, that's the driveway going in is coming off of Route 40.
Yes.
Okay. I hate to do this to you. Route 40 is owned by the State Highway Administration, so if it's on their property, it's them. If it is not part of the state right of way, it's on private property, because that'll be part of the development owner.
Of the shopping center?
Whoever owns the shopping center, whoever
They
the
supposed, so
property
how do
owner
we
is.
get them to fix it?
Here's what I'll do. Tell me again where that entrance
CVS, when you
is.
come in off of 40 and you
Right.
turn on to,
Woodbridge.
yes,
Okay,
Woodbridge.
Woodbridge, okay.
Yes.
And
And
go
then,
into the
and you go
entrance.
into the entrance of where CVS is.
Okay.
The little curve is right there.
So
It's
that
huge.
entrance you're talking about is coming in off of Woodbridge? Or
Yes.
it's coming off of 40?
It's coming off
Coming off
Woodbridge.
of Woodbridge.
Okay. Woodbridge is my road.
Okay.
Not my road. I don't want to own roads. But it is, that's a DPW road.
Okay.
I will have some folks go out and look at it.
Please.
If it is part of our right of way, I'll get our guys on it right away.
Okay.
If it is not, then we have some liaison folks that can communicate with the shopping center or the property owner to make them aware.
Okay.
I doubt if they have a click and fix, but we'll make sure that they're aware of it one way or the other.
They're working on that road right now.
I'm sorry,
They're working on that road right now.
on Woodbridge? Yes.
Well, right there where the old Friendly's used to be, that goes in front of Popeyes and all.
Okay.
That road, they're working on it.
Yeah, what's he doing? Jerry working on it.
Okay, the fire lanes, in the communities. I've asked about this for about a year and a half. I don't know if you're the right person, but the fire lanes in the community about being painted. We already have fire lanes, I'm not saying designated, the fire lane is there, the signs are there, but the paint is chip, gone, faded. Do you all handle anything like that? Can we paint it? I've asked.
We painted Rumsey Island Bridge one time and they said we couldn't do it. We painted it.
I will find out for you, and here's why I'm hesitating. Fire lanes are a code issue that is our license and permits group. It's not a public works thing, because it has to do with life safety and all those type of things. However, painting of our roads is us.
Yeah.
So let me find out where that disconnect is. I know there's been communication between our Department of License and Permits and our folks and the planning and zoning folks about where they can or can't or should or shouldn't, and I think the sheriff's office is involved in that too, if I'm not mistaken. I think the volunteer fire companies are involved as well. Let me find out where that is. Do you know of any in particular any particular stretches you're concerned about?
Yeah, I wanna put mine with hers. Excuse
me.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Then I'll put ours in there too.
I'm talking about the Oak Landing community.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a number of fire lanes there. There's on Beckon, right off San Pebble.
Okay.
Further down, where the fire hydrant is, there's one on, I think there's one on San Pebble, but in the Oak Landing community. They call us West Shore, we are not West Shore.
And West Shore doesn't have any fire lanes, any.
Okay.
So I wish you could look into that too. We
Now-
don't have any.
I will, but I do know that I think both of those communities, the roads are private roads.
We got county roads.
That's why, again, I can't remember all the names, so I apologize. Okay,
We only have one private road.
Okay.
And Beacon is county.
okay.
All the roads there are.
One second.
I was gonna say, I thought you wanted to add something to.
Yeah, I was just gonna add to that, I'm a frequent user of the C-Click Fix, so I will say that you get a response back to acknowledge that they've received your, request, and it helps if you include a photo and the, I guess, reference points so that they can find the issue. And then, in some cases, they replied right back, we took care of it, and they show the finished product. In other cases, I don't hear anything, but then months down the road, I get a call that, okay, we're responding to your request because this was a little more involved. So, so they do follow up months later, but you don't know that until they call you. And then there have been other times that I took a photo, requested, and they said, oh, this is a state road, so they forwarded to the appropriate department, and then there it's sat. But, I do get a response, so I use that, but they said if you can put a picture of what the issue is, and then the cross-reference points for them, you do get feedback.
You make a good point about the state roads, because State Highway Administration has their own, they don't call it a C-Click and Fix, they call it something else. But on their website, and I'll ask Rob to send a link to you all to send out, they have their own exactly the same, where if you know it's on Route 1 or 543 or Route 40 or any road that has a number, then it goes directly to them. So it doesn't have to spend whatever amount of time coming to us to then be forwarded to them, and then they can do that follow-up directly. But I'll make sure that link to their version of C-Click Fix goes through.
Right, go ahead.
Back to West Shore and Oak Landing, my understanding is all those roads are county roads except for A-Gate, I believe, is private, and Willow Bend is also private. But yeah, Ahoy, Starboard, Sand Pebble, Lakefront, Pirates, those are all county roads, West Shore.
Understand. I do my best to remember them all, but
Okay.
when you get to about 1,000, it makes it a little tough for me, but thank you.
Okay.
Willow Bend,
I'm coming in.
Willow Bend is not.
So I had 3 comments. One about the Click It. We're in First Harford Square, HOA. We use it often. We have our residents use it, so the board doesn't have to do it. And like Bontown said, we provide and we encourage people to put their pictures in. We always get responses. When we don't get a response, I actually call, and I've spent some time on the phone with the representatives, and they do the research. So if I feel like it's taking a little longer, well, I'll call call a friend, to say, hey, can you look into this, because some are more severe, and maybe if I felt like, but they've all been very responsive.
Good, I'm glad to hear
Answer
that.
back. And those that may take longer, at least they're telling you, giving you updates. I've gotten updates, at different times on where they go. So that's on that. But I had two other questions in regards to the fire hydrants and the storm drains. For the storm drains in Harford Square, we're working on our own roads, and a lot of them are private. But we have the storm drains that are there in several of the areas that, we've just done some paving there. But some of the other areas, we are noticing, or it's been reported to us by our contractors, that the drain itself is, faulty. And so who should we contact? Because I don't know, even though it's a private road, is it ours? Or is that is it a DPW issue because it's a drain for the county water or whatever?
Typically, the storm drain is owned by the person who owns the road, whether it be state highway or the county or private, like a parking lot or a apartment complex or a commercial development. So that would probably be there.
And so in some of the storm drains, so we have a county road and then we have the private court, and it's like right there at the intersection. So if it's not sitting on, because I'm trying to figure out.
I understand. We know which ones are ours. What I would suggest is, if you have a doubt, and you think that it could be ours, put it in the system, and our folks will look at it.
Okay.
And if it's ours, we'll fix it, or we'll get it put in the queue to be fixed. And if it's not, then we'll answer that back to you.
Okay, and then the last question I had was about the fire hydrants. Along with some of the road work we've been doing, we know that we have, when we repaint our roads and so forth, our signs, our numbers and all of that, we're having our contractors repaint the fire lanes ourselves, so that it's clear. And there are already existing fire lanes. But in regards to the fire hydrants, we're not touching those. How do we just, who do we contact to get them maintenance, or to see if they need any maintenance? Because I don't know the last time it was done. I'm sure you guys have records. But if we want, we are planning to have a walk with our fire folks to make sure our no parking signs and stuff are right. But as far as the fire hydrants, who do we contact to see if the fire hydrants have been maintained? We have had a fire recently, and we want to make sure across the property that the fire hydrants are functioning, like you said. Painting is nice and all, but most importantly, that they are functioning.
Okay. Very good point, and I understand your concern. I'm an old water and sewer engineer, so that's where I came up and learning how to do that. And knowing the way that we maintain our system, I guarantee you, they are functioning, and they're functioning well. Because what we do is, we do regular flushing. We open them up, let them squirt out. It gets all the mucky mud and we test them to make sure that the amount of water that's coming out and the pressure that's coming out is as it's supposed to be, so that there isn't a clog somewhere else in the system. So that is something that they have a database of every one of all totally, and they have it on a regular schedule on the certain period of time, not just the painting part is what you see.
Right.
But the part to make sure that, as you said, is functioning and the water is flowing underground, that is part of our regular maintenance throughout the county. So
We're gonna take the last couple of questions.
Sure.
I just wanna say to click it and fix it. If you have somebody that's with you or a neighbor that also sees the same problem, if they get multiples for the same thing, there was a pothole by Sheets on Joppa Road. I drive a small car, I thought my car was gonna fall into it. And my friend that was in the car, we both put it in, and within the week it was paved over. So I don't know if that was maybe because there was more than one ticket, so that, I'm just throwing it out there, cause sometimes there's strength.
I look at it this way. I'm glad it got taken care of. Certainly didn't hurt.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And the other
It doesn't
thing is,
hurt.
and I think it's a great point, because don't assume somebody's gonna report it.
Yeah.
Report it.
Alright, let's,
Good.
because then we need to move on to the last couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, a couple of important questions. You all handle the water lines and stuff under the county roads and everything else like that?
Correct.
Okay. Had an incident here, a couple of years back where water line broke. You guys came in and fixed it.
Good.
Next thing I know is I had to replace my water heater because the dirt from the line got shoved into my water heater. Is there any way when you guys do work like that to, put some notices on the houses that are handled by the line so that we know, okay, before we use the water, make sure that, you know, we've got the system flushed and we don't get dirty, because I mean, you know, putting $8,000-$9,000 out for a water heater, you know, every time the water line busts, it gets a little aggravating and agitating.
Okay, I'll find out.
Okay, and the second question.
We got
In-
reducing the 1 yard.
Yeah, so they could, yeah.
For time.
No, no,
Well, why don't we
real
do
quick.
this then? Why don't we have everybody who has some concerns to write them down and send them to you, and you can get them? Because I know everybody's got a problem. Everybody got some issues they wanna share that with you. Can we do that?
Click it and fix it.
Let's take the rest questions.
I just, when you were talking about the street sweepers, do you have an all-call for the neighborhood so that people know to get their vehicles off the roads?
We do,
Yeah,
Okay, and that's,
we do.
that's what you'll
It
do.
doesn't always work, I mean, our calls work, it doesn't necessarily, people don't always move the cars, but. But
I
it's
haven't gotten a
But
call.
I mean,
it-
I've gotten a call saying coming down Shore Drive, please move your cars.
Still can't work.
I've gotten a call.
Is there a number to call to make sure you got the right number for that?
I got one.
I'm not in charge of the robocall, so I don't know.
Okay. Last one, and then we need to move on.
All right, so thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Sure.
Have done so far. Thank you for what you've done on back end, West Shore, all of our communities. And also your, community liaison, Van Tan, for those streets that couldn't be covered by the new roads. She did Agate and Willow Bend, so thank you for that. Now, 755, that's, sorry. And now to this pothole, the issue that's gonna be had is the fact that it is on, CVS Papa John's lot.
Oh,
Is
okay.
when you go into that entrance.
Okay,
So, yeah, just wanted to briefly say that, but now my last thing, go ahead. When
before
they
you do, because I wanna make sure I don't forget what you just said. Can you communicate that, Rob, to the, I don't know if you have a communication with those folks, or maybe through economic development could reach out to the developer?
I'm gonna try and get a.
Cause I wouldn't know who to call, so,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, I wanna-
Yeah, I just was gonna say to this gentleman's point, once the road work was done, our streets were done, on back end, I had brown water coming up through my pipes and toilets and stuff. So I don't know if that's gonna continue to happen as they dig up old streets, but if that can be something addressed in advance,
Okay,
yeah.
alright.
Well, thank you so much, and you addressed a lot of. Okay, so we have.
You were a nice crowd tonight, thank you.
Can I call you back to my question?
Do you have some cards that you can leave with us?
I can.
Okay. That way you
Or
can,
if you
you'd
want
like to have one.
to share it in the minutes, that'd be fine too.
Okay.
Whatever you think is easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we'd have to wait a month.
Okay, is Lauren Levy here? Is that you, Lauren? Hi, Lauren. Lauren is a county health officer for Harford County. I'd like to welcome her this evening.
But I have it on here if you want to go through.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. So, good evening, everyone. Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, thank you so much. I want to thank Council Member Robert for inviting me this evening. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to talking with all of you. My name is Lauren Levy. I am the new health officer for Harford County. I have been in the role. Today is my 2-month anniversary, so I've been in the role for 2 months. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have some cake tonight. I have a good excuse now. So.
Can you speak up a little bit? We can hear you.
Absolutely. So sorry. Please let me know if my volume starts to go down. So my name is Lauren Levy. I'm the new health officer for Harford County. I was in the health officer role in Cecil County for 6 years prior to coming here. I'm very excited to be here. Very excited to get to know all of you. We can kind of structure this conversation in a couple of ways. I have some information about some of our programs, particularly programs in this immediate area that I can go through, or we can just kind of open up the discussion and I can hear from all of you about what's important, or we can do a combination of both. So you guys let me know. Combination.
I think let us know what you have for Outdoor, and if there's any concerns, we'll let you know.
All right, that's what we'll do. So I just wanted to, this is a very brief snapshot. We do a lot at local health departments. We have a very broad scope of services. So I just chose a sampling of them just to kind of let you all know kind of some of what we do. But you can find out more information on our website at harfordcountyhealth.com. And so one thing that we do is we enroll people in insurance. Our staff will help you navigate insurance enrollment if you're eligible for Medicaid. We can help you get connected. Also, dental services, we offer those in this area as well for children and adults who are enrolled in Medicaid. We offer hygiene services and dental services, including restorations, extractions, root canals, you name it. More advanced work we would probably refer out, but we assist with those referrals as needed. In our Bel Air location, we offer behavioral health services, so both mental health services and substance use disorder treatment for adolescents and adults. Treatment and referral, group and individual counseling, intensive outpatient treatment, and more information can be found on our website. We offer very comprehensive clinical services at our Edgewood location, including family planning, STI testing and treatment, HIV health services, immunizations, of course. And also, I did want to mention our cancer prevention program. So there, we offer no-cost lung and colorectal cancer screenings if you're eligible, if you meet certain requirements. So just want to make everybody aware of that. Again, happy to share more information, and it's also available on our website. I did want to share Megan's Place is also at our Edgewood location. It's a trusted space in Harford County where pregnant and postpartum women and their families can connect. It helps to strengthen families through education, support groups, referrals, and ongoing support to enrolled families. I would be remiss if I did not bring up respiratory illness season, which is nearly upon us, and so really want to encourage folks. I know that there's a lot of conflicting information out there right now. We have some flyers that are outside, Rania. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce my colleague. I'm here with my colleague, Director of Population Health, Rania Nassar. I'm sure that many of you know her. She is a wonderful resource at the health department. She very graciously printed out a number of materials that I think are outside.
They're on the back
table. Oh, on the back table here. And I think including vaccine recommendations, there's a lot of conflicting information right now. But I would definitely, anyone 6 months and older, please get your flu shot, or at least please consider getting your flu shot. It is widely available at local pharmacies. Please take care of yourselves. Obviously everyone can make the choice that's good for them. I would also encourage RSV immunization if it is recommended for you and your age group, and also COVID-19 vaccine based on your health history and age. I did want to share an event that we have coming up that is run through our Minority Health Program, and that is the IU We Matter Youth Symposium that is coming up on November 21st, Friday, November 21st from 4 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And again, we have flyers in the back that have, if you have a young person in your life or a young woman in your life and would like to sign them up, you can use the QR code in the back and get them signed up. So that's a really wonderful event. Really providing support. You know that our young people have really been through it through the last few years, and this is a really wonderful event celebrating them and supporting them. And so just really encourage you, if you have young people in your life. We have a women's event, a young women's event that we hold in the fall, and then a young men's event that we hold in the spring. So encourage you to seek out more information about those if you have young people in your life. And then just to let you know, we do have 6 locations, 2 in Bel Air, 2 in Havre de Grace, and 2 in Edgewood. And again, you can find out more about it on our website. So that's my brief overview, very brief overview of some of what we do. And so I will open it up for discussion if you have questions. Yes.
Where's your location at Edgewood, your 2 locations?
I have the address is right here.
The address for Edgewood is 1321 Woodbridge Station Way.
Oh, okay, over there.
Yeah, right next
door.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, what other location do you have?
We have the dental services on 2020 2204 Hanson Road
2204
is our dental
Hanson.
clinic, yeah.
Okay.
Just beyond the pothole.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you so
I
much.
got off easy, thanks. Have a good night, thank you.
We're not gonna let you off that easy. You do a lot of, sounds like you do a lot of screenings through your agency. This being October, does the Harford Health Agency offer any mammary screenings or resources?
So we can definitely provide referral resources. We do not do mammogram services
It's
on
a lot of
site.
equipment, I imagine, to invest
Yeah, no, we do not offer that, but we can definitely get folks connected for services and obviously encourage folks to, take advantage of any and all preventive screenings that are available. And, happy to talk with folks about what they should be doing, at, their particular, given their particular, age and circumstances. So.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh,
Wait,
sorry,
one
one
back
more.
here.
Can you give us a little bit on the environmental health efforts that you're involved in?
Sure. Is there a particular aspect of environmental
Or
health?
water and air?
Water and air. So certainly, so I know that this has been a topic here before in terms of water sampling, the recreational water sampling, and I know that that's been a topic that you all have discussed in these meetings before. And so, we do that testing and we post those results on our website, so that is available for folks. In terms of air, we work with the Maryland Department of the Environment, and air quality issues that come up, work closely with them to address those. Do you have specific concerns?
No, just wanted to get an idea of how the liaison works and if you're planning to expand those efforts in any way.
I'm not sure about expansion. I think certainly continuing the regulations, the regulatory landscape is always changing, and so, our services and what we have to do changes with it. We are very fortunate in Harford County, especially I came from Cecil County, where, honestly, our environmental health program really suffered from significant staffing shortages. The county has made really important investments in environmental health services here, which I think is incredibly valuable. So really grateful to, have those resources available. So we have a really good team here, and, really knowledgeable, pretty significant expertise. People, we have a lot of people on our team with 20 plus years of experience working in environmental health, so I feel very confident that they are able to navigate that. We have strong relationships with the community and with, our elected officials and with the Maryland Department of the Environment, so I feel confident that we can be responsive. Rania, is there anything that you would add?
I would say for like the water aspect, as Lauren mentioned, so we have our water testing that is completed the Memorial Day to Labor Day, and we do testing every other week. And as Lauren mentioned, that we do post those results online, and we're also looking kind of further. We've done some further testing too to see, just kind of collect. We've been doing this since 2019, so now we have a wide range of data. So we're constantly kind of looking at that. And then we work with our other agencies too on any of the water issues, which we sit on the Clean Water Task Force as well too. So we're constantly learning and constantly working with our partners on those things.
And environmental conditions are always changing too, right? And so we have to, maintain our, constantly be educating ourselves and, making sure we're staying up on the current science and knowledge. So I know that our team does that.
Lauren, you mentioned with the recent layoffs, you mentioned insurance. With all of the recent layoffs, are we still in that window where people can register for insurance?
So if you have any kind of qualifying event like that where you lose your job, you can definitely, reach out and check your eligibility for medical assistance.
Okay.
I just wanted to, go ahead. Just a quick thank you, working with the, Minority Health in First Harford Square. We've partnered for the year, through next June. I think we've gotten programs going on once a month. It's been really great. We're gonna try to work on getting some more attendance, but this is a really great opportunity and it's free. So we just want to say thank you for, we appreciate the partnership as we're trying to get our community healthy and those all around us. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, is that, sorry.
Feedback.
Yeah, I got a quick question. I read your symposium, which is a great idea and all that, but, and this is the 4th annual Girls. Do do you have anything for our young men?
We do. Go ahead, Rania.
So we do the girls in November, and then the young men are in May, and they're both at the Ward Y in Abingdon. The men is not as well attended as the girls. We get over hundreds of girls. Men, you're looking around like 20 guys. But our attendance last year was really successful. We had a really good panel there to talk. We had community leaders and men that were in this area that are able to kind of discuss mental health with the young boys and kind of just open up and be a really good conversation. So we also really love that event too, and that comes up in it's usually girls is usually the week before Thanksgiving, and then the men is usually the week before Memorial Day.
And so I can speak to that too, because I've been with them since the beginning of it. So we have had it at the Epic Center, and as far as the boys, the very first one we did was at the Epic Center in Aberdeen, and they spoke their language. So they had artists that dance, spoken word, and there was a lot of celebrities there. So that one was very well attended. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yep.
But it was like, we had close to like 100-something kids there. Chick-fil-A partner, everybody rallies in for it. So what I would say to help them on the community aspect, get the word out.
I mean, and we really take care of the boys too. So we for the girls, you know, they get these, we give them like self-care bags. For the guys, it's like kind of harder because you're like, oh, what do these young guys want? But we try to find things that will help kind of promote health, public health. We give them, you know, bags. We call them swag bags, and they just are items that we put in their tools to promote their mental health at that young age. But it's definitely really good. Melissa's been to a lot of ours, so I appreciate that. But once we get those flyers, we can definitely share them with this group and continue to promote it. It's a really good event. Thank you.
So I will just say that my favorite part of this job is when the community really comes together, where it's not just one agency, it's all of us really coming together to address the issues that we see within our community, and that is when we have the most success. So I look forward to building those relationships with all of you and doing that work. So thank you very much for allowing me to be here this evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura. Cynthia?
Good evening, Cynthia Lindsay, Harford County Council. Our first October meeting will be held tomorrow evening, and for the next 3 council meetings, there will be public hearings. So if you'd like to know the detail of the public hearings before those meetings, please check with the highlights that are passed out. And if you have anything for me to take back to Mr. Vincenti, I'll be glad to do it.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, so we were really sorry to see Lenore retire, because she was so wonderful, but we are blessed to have Robert Wagner, and she is stepping into a singer. She was
No, I'm gonna try. She wore heels I couldn't even begin to wear.
You might look better in a minute.
Yeah, don't even go there. So I'll start off with, I got word late today that the meters were installed at Harford Square for the cameras. So I'm assuming somebody's gonna throw the switch and it should be activated in the next little short while, which is different than what we've had over the last 2.5 years. The gate at Kennard Avenue boat ramp was installed. That's gonna be an electric boat gate. They'll have a keypad, I believe, or no, I'm sorry, it will have a keypad to override. It's gonna be on a timer. If anybody knows where that's at down there at Flying Points, it's on the right-hand side at the end of Flying Point Road and down that way by the railroad tracks. We've had a lot of problems there, so we had to install a gate that would ensure the safety for the community that's on Kennard. The Edgewood Skate Park was opened just recently. That was a great success, and 755 Alliance played a huge part in that. And then last week, I know that the county executive did a ride around through the whole area of Edgewood and Joppatowne with Mr. Cordich to try to have some conversation about improvements that they should do to their stores and their shopping centers. Originally the deal was when we started the Southern County Task Force, I know that the county executive talked to Mr. Cordish and said, you know, here's what we're gonna do, and he basically said, well, show me. So he took him around a week ago to show him what had been accomplished. We've spent a boatload of money all throughout the southern end of the county. Just, you know, it's over $2 million, approaching $3 million, and that's just grant money and things that we've done that we can identify real quick. I've got some sheets that tell all the things we've done from start to finish. It's really huge. I mean, when you see it written out, you start flipping pages and you're impressed by what has happened. Some of it we've forgotten, but when you see it really documented, we've done a lot in the whole community up and down Route 40. There's gonna be a Household Hazardous Waste Day, Saturday, November 15th, 8 to 12, but that's gonna be up at the top end of the county at Scarborough Road at the landfill. The Swan Harbor Farm, that's a wedding expo they're gonna have down there at Swan Harbor on Oakington Road on November 1st, 12 to 3 for potential brides and anybody who wants to plan parties down there. They're gonna expand it a little bit so that it's not gonna be just a wedding venue, but also include some corporate offerings for some of the companies around to have meetings there. The Veterans Family Resource Fair is coming up on November the 15th. And that will be held at the Bel Air Armory 10 to 1. Youth Mental Health First Aid Training is coming up on Friday, October 17th at Mount Zion Church on Churchville Road in Bel Air. That's 8 to 3. That information, all this is back there on that table for you to view or take with you this evening. So is there anything that anybody has here that I can take back to the county executive that's a major concern or something you want addressed, or at least take it back up to 220 and have it exposed?
This is almost an easy one.
Yeah.
There's a silver lining in every cloud. I don't like Ridgely's Reserve, but we got 200 new homes in there already, another 200 coming. We got Magnolia Landing. We got Rogers Ward since I've been here, and a couple others. You gotta take that to Cordish and say, look, you got 1,000 families plus coming in. The money's coming.
Right. I know that the trip included all through that area, so I'm sure that conversation happened. I will be talking to Mr. Castley in the next couple of days and see just exactly what that conversation was, but that's a good point to make, and he should have seen what's coming into the neighborhood and recognize the fact that those are gonna be his shoppers.
Plus, and I left out the one on Horrells Road, whatever that's called.
Right, okay.
And the thing about it, Mr. Rock, sorry, go ahead, Adam was first.
Oh, I have 2 people who have contacted me telling me that the live stream is difficult to hear. So it's hard to hear. This is the only microphone available because we're in a room that does not support better technology, nor has the county gotten us better technology, so not just me. Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
Well, hang on that point, there was someone that came from the county in June but didn't hook up with the live stream or whatever. Will you follow up and see, because they were supposed to send someone that was going to help us do something with this live stream?
Who was here in June?
It was some lady, I don't know what her name was.
Melinda Velez was here. I'm not sure what her responsibility was, but
She never hooked up to get anything accomplished, so if you could double check.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Hang on a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just was gonna say, to the point of what we was talking about was, Cornish. We sat in a meeting last week where they were developing, where the plans have been made for 7 Brew.
Right.
And the gentleman that represents Cornish, Mr. Paul, was there with us, and they can't give too much information, but those empty spaces are becoming accounted for. So once the leases are signed, then we will know, but it's not just like vacant.
Right, I know that it may be a little early to expose who or what,
Yeah.
but as soon as we hear, I'll let you know.
Go ahead, sir.
Rob, I gotta go back to the conversation that we had before about the shoplifting statistics.
Right.
If you're talking to Cordish and trying to get businesses in there, maybe it would be appropriate to let the county executive know that a request has been made to make those kinds of crime statistics available so that they can be used in any way to mitigate what's going on.
I know he has had some conversations with the county relative to trying to help identify some of the people that do shoplift at one particular end of his one shopping center, trying to get the possibility of putting an additional cameras up at the end of that one. That's still a work in progress, but he has recognized that. And, you know, unfortunately, that benefits them more than anybody else. So, you know, my stance on that when it came up was they need to put up their own cameras. I mean, you know, if that's what you need to do to keep your businesses afloat, at the same time, you know, it comes back to us because that's the community too that suffers if you can't keep retailers in there. So that's
There
still
seems to be some coordination
exactly
necessary.
right,
You know,
right,
and I think
and it won't fix it. It'll just help deter maybe.
Well, it's the first step to making it.
It is.
Even more aware that there may be some other things down the road that may be possible, but you gotta take the first step in that direction.
Right.
And I think those kinds of monitoring those kinds of statistics, if we can, would help us to gauge whether or not what we're doing is having an effect.
Right.
Well, no longer.
Yeah, so I talked to Mr. Peters, and at least once a month I check in with Raj and Mr. Peters, to figure out what's going to go with the shopping centers. So I know that there are things coming in, we're waiting for leases to be signed, but I also talked to him about the crime, because Dollar Tree, they're not gonna do anything, and they know things are walking out the door. I know Grocery Outlet has a concern that things are walking out the door.
But he
even now.
prosecutes them.
Yeah, now he's prosecuting them. Label Shopper, when they moved, the first thing they asked is, they put some things right in the snatch and grab zone, like so the door opens. I said I would not suggest putting your best items in the snatch and grab zone, where some stores like Dick's and other places are mandated to put those nice items as enticement to come into stores. So I did ask him to do more lighting, maybe possibly a security guard, something that helps alleviate some of that issue, but you know, I can only keep talking, so I just wanna let you know, that we've had these conversations as well.
I was gonna bring up something about the new store, the shopping store that they bought up here.
The Label Shopper?
What is it called?
It's a Label Shopper, it came from the West End.
The Label Shopper, they're based out of New York.
Oh, okay.
They're based out of
I was gonna
New
say something
York.
about them, when you're shopping in there, what I don't appreciate about it is they don't have a bathroom. You can't even use their bathroom. They don't have a bathroom in there. I had my little niece with me, and you can't even use a bathroom in there. Okay?
The closest one is the barber shop.
Yeah, they ain't, you can't even use the bathroom, so that's weird to me. You know what I mean, for shopping.
They didn't have a restroom in there because when the floor was big,
They had one.
Yeah, they just said you got it from employees.
I was gonna say, that's something you probably have to talk to the store manager about.
Yeah, cause I asked, I said it is for the employees, but I mean, what kind of mess is that? They want us to spend money in there.
Anybody have anything else?
I will say that in a conversation with two retailers 2 weeks ago, they both said that in the last 2.5 to 3 years, they have seen the community improve. And coming from somebody who's in the business, that's a pretty strong statement that they've seen. You know, it's not gonna happen overnight, but they're seeing a little bit of a change, and it's coming around a little bit, and it's gonna take all of us to make it happen.
Can we get a bathroom?
Don't think so.
Just go before you go.
Thank you, guys. What do you got?
Oh, no, it's in reference to her question there about the bathroom.
Right.
A lot of places aren't allowing customers to utilize the bathroom because it's part of their shrinkage control, to keep people from going into the bathroom, taking clothes that they've snatched off, putting them on, stuff like that. It's like, I hate to say it, there are some stores that actually treat their customers like criminals. I'll put the name up out there, Costco. You go to the register, and then when you walk out, they have to check your receipt to make sure that everything in your basket has been rung up.
Let me tell you something. You're talking
talking about the grocery store, does everybody know why Giant originally went out? They went out because of the pilferage that they had, okay? Everything that's been in there is because of the pilferage. Years ago, when I first moved here, I worked at Jamesway. Anybody remember Jamesway?
I do.
You would be amazed at the lengths that people went to take stuff out of the store. It was incredible, some of the things that we found. People that would come in with, back then they had the babies, the little stroller things, and they'd have it puffed up and you think they'd have an infant in there. There was no baby in there. We had security stop them, it was loaded with everything.
And they take this down.
I've
So,
seen it.
Yeah, so like I say, I understand them not using the public restrooms because he's right, people who go in the bathroom, they,
But you do know, I mean, they do it, down here, down our end, but they do it up there too, but they got bathrooms.
Alright, last one, and then we're moving on, yes, Bill.
Same issue. That should be a county code. They should have bathrooms for
Yes.
health.
But wait a minute, it is a code thing. You have to remember, stores like that, with your clothes and stuff, they're not obligated.
Right.
Now, anybody, like a grocery store
And it's
or
not
a
the
place
code.
that sells prepared food, they have to.
Right.
But it's a double-edged sword, because like now you have, because of the issues, like we were talking about with the homelessness and stuff, like you notice, the 7-Elevens, they won't let you come to the bathroom, a lot of the employees. Wawa, they fine, they open, they public. But a lot of stores and stuff, they have, and you can go right out there to the desk and ask the sheriff and stuff about it, because they were talking about the issue of the Wawas have been banning people because of the things going on in the bathrooms and different stuff and stuff. No, the label shoppers, I had a good talk with that lady to find out, they're based in New York, where they started at, how come they decided to move down here and everything. She was like, no, that's something they don't do. I was like, I had told her then. I was like, but you gotta remember, the store that was here before had a bathroom and everything, but she was like, New York,
We ain't in New York.
I know that, but that's their company protocol, and she said,
Yeah, what you gonna do about it?
she said that hopefully, me and her talking and the young man, cause the manager's from New York, the young man working there with her and everything, they're hoping that as they get more staff and they see things going on, that they'll have, that will become something available. But she was straight up, not no time soon.
Okay, Ron's not here tonight, so we'll skip that and go directly to Yolanda.
If Ron were here, I think he would probably say, fires are bad, don't
Yeah.
happen.
Please don't set your house on fire until Ron gets back.
Fires are still happening, accidents are what really are happening.
Don't have accidents till Ron gets back.
That's right.
And don't get an electrical vehicle.
That's it.
Well, that's
I'm
what I'm
right.
saying, the council's coming up on the lithium battery issue, so I'm real shocked he's not here about that.
Yeah, if we move on, we can get out of here before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, I'll make it fast. I'll make it as fast as possible.
It's just 8:08.
So our office has done a lot of different things. Attended the Harford County Hope for the Homeless Alliance. I attended the symposium on addiction and recovery at Mountain Christian Church, which was really informative and well attended by the community. I met with Amanda Hickman, the director of the Humane Society, and so we will be putting forth some legislation to help the spay, neuter, vaccination clinic be able to come through the Humane Society so that anyone who owns an animal that is not been abandoned or sheltered can actually get the same type of services. So we needed to adjust some things in order to make that happen. I attended, because I'm on the Commission for Maryland Affordable Housing Trust Board of Trustees meeting. They have tons and tons of grant money for affordable housing and for homelessness. We received over 71 applications, only 2 from Harford County. One was Susquehanna Habitat for Humanity. But with usually the grant amount being about $700,000. So we only are gonna give it to so many organizations, but I'm just letting everyone know that money's out there and it'll be introduced again in the spring. So if you have any ideas, a lot of it is to, work on homelessness too. And so that's part of my initiative, is to work on some homelessness initiatives. And so, if you know of anything, have any thoughts or ideas, let me know. I know that some organizations are working on putting in grant funds for the housing initiative. Attended the Commission on Disabilities. The commission would like to see more things available for the disabled. We discussed certain things like transportation, especially transportation on weekends, so they're able to get to certain things. You have medical transportation, but that mainly occurs during the week, not so much on the weekend. So we're looking at trying to figure out how we can put forth some better transportation for our disabled, and then some playgrounds that are more accessible by children who are disabled as well. We did do some background research and found out that Harford County technically has none that is an all-inclusive playground. So I'm looking at that based on my therapy background. I like to see a playground be hands-on, touching, feeling, doing, and getting all the experiences from it.
Sensory.
Yep, sensory playground. And then on September 23rd, I got the honor of presenting a proclamation to Bangton. Again, for 755 Alliance, she got the Good Neighbor Award. I'm not sure if you all know, but she got the Good Neighbor Award. I attended the NAACP meet and greet, and then I went to the CASA anniversary celebration. I started the one in Cecil County. This one celebrated 30 years of serving over 1,000 children and having over 500 volunteers. Now, Amtrak. Amtrak is in their preliminary engineering solicitation stages right now, and apparently that is not going to be completed till April of 2026. So I just want everyone to know that's the stage where that's at. We had a community meeting last week. It was about 6 of us regarding 7 Brew. 7 Brew met with us. I did put back there the plans layout for the site. It's going to be coming off of Gateway. When you go into the shopping center, kind of like catty corner from Label Shopper, and he's going to put the building there with 2 driveways. So it's a drive-in. The business itself is only serving drinks for right now, and that's just their company that only serves drinks. So it is coffee, hot and cold, and smoothies. Their 2-lane drive-through is gonna come in, go around the building, and come out. Bangton brought up the safety issue. So Mr. Peters is gonna make a walkable speed bump, so that controls the speed of some of the cars flying through so no one gets injured. We looked at the plans, we tried to move things around, we can't move it. But the nice thing is that the people who own this franchise is planning on planting like shrubbery around and trees and making it look very, what I call aesthetically pleasing, which we're all hoping will then draw in some more people to look at it like, oh, this looks very nice. The shopping center looks nice, kind of what we were talking about with Mr. Peters and Quarters.
But eventually you said they're gonna serve food?
They said if they get enough requests on that, they might do that. They are opening one in Abingdon first. I believe it's opening this fall.
It said November.
That's why I thought it was November. So you get to try it out there and see what they have a nice menu of drinks.
Drinks, you say, is that liquor?
No. So
Coffee and smoothies. What you do with your coffee and smoothies afterwards? They can always add food at some point.
She really just wants to know if they're gonna have a bathroom.
Well, you know what? They are gonna have outdoor seating to seat. They'll have outdoor seating to seat about 16 people. Because really, they are an drive up and go kind of place, and that's what they're looking, exactly.
It's gonna remind you, can I say, it's gonna remind you like Sonic, the way it's built.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Exactly.
And the thing is too, they do have teas, lemonade, smoothies, protein shakes, and they have cup treats, like cup drinks.
Yeah.
For dogs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
for the dog. And then, so
Four-legged dog, not your boyfriend or something else like that.
So they will be starting the DAC process, and they are looking at spring of 2026 for it to be officially, hopefully, if no issues arise. And they don't foresee it because they're gonna plot the building right on down, like it's prefab, et cetera. So they don't see too much of an issue, and Mr. Peters didn't see too much of an issue either, so.
And Ron was in that meeting.
And Ron was in that meeting. He was one of the 6, so he offered his suggestions as well. I know some of you are involved in the Days Cove landfill. And just to catch you up a little bit, I was not able to attend the last forum because I was out of the country. But I did speak to the banner, and I did send a letter to Mr. Havlinka. I've spoken to David Marks. He is putting in a resolution tonight, as we speak, for Baltimore County Council urging the Maryland Department of Environment to deny the wastewater permit requested by Dave Coves. He's asked me to put in a letter of support, which I told him I would. And there is supposed to be another meeting on October 16th at the Perry Hall Library. And that is from 5:30 to 7:30, and you can send a letter, you can show up, you can email, but that's going to be happening at the Perry Hall Library on October the 16th. I on Thursday did a police ride along with Officer Nazario. Awesome officer. It was good to hear from him that crime is down. Primarily, the officers are seeing a lot of domestics related incidents, juvenile related incidents, and the thefts, which some of them are attached to the juveniles as well. And that's where we were talking about some of the intel he was giving me about grocery outlet. Even like he said he hired employees to like wanting to hire from the community, but then they started stealing toilet paper and things from him, so now he doesn't even want to hire people from the community, and I thought that was really sad. The calls I were on were all domestic related. It was interesting, I got to help. And then an incident that occurred at Aldi. But we did discuss the frequent flyers that they see a lot of, and mental health and substance abuse are a big part of the frequent flyers that they see, as well as he showed me all the homelessness spaces. So all the tent cities we went to kind of check out, and it was interesting. He just advised a lot about they're getting ready to prep for their holiday theft program, and so that they can counter that issue coming from the retail stores. The trampoline park looks like it's probably going to open January 2026 is my understanding from economic development, but they will keep me abreast if it's going to happen any sooner, but that seems to be the designated timeline. But they are in the building. I know they're starting to model that stuff. And then we had the movie night thanks to 755 Alliance. That was great. 85 people showed up. The kids loved it. Melissa makes great popcorn. And the one thing I did note that I was telling Bangton is that the Mildred Kelly Park, we had a nice night. It was really dark. Someone asked me about the bathrooms. I could barely see the porta potties. There was a couple different things so I'm hoping we can get more lighting in there, because I know for the future we want to have more of those movie nights and events. And there is a bathroom. And so I think that is all for me for right now, yes.
Noticed from your newsletter that you had the back to school, with Maryland Superintendent.
Yes.
Does the Harford County school system have chaplains? Are they associated with the National School Chaplain Association?
I do not believe so, because they try to keep religion out of schools, so I'm going to say most likely there is not a chaplain attached there.
Well, I mean, as far as I know, they're not talking about religion, they're talking about people there to help the students counsel. Granted, yes, it's from a biblical standpoint, but you're talking about the fact that kids are having mental health problems and everything else like that. And all this has started basically because we took God out of the schools.
Yeah, but I do know that there are lots of social workers that are in the school also seeing children on a daily basis for the mental health purposes. In fact, the problem is they can't find enough to be able to be hired is part of the problem, as well as like teachers. So it's more so less staff still. And I know kids are having anxiety issues. I am a therapist. I have a whole lot of kids, and their biggest fears since COVID is anxiety surrounding school safety, bullying, and
Well, here's a resource that the schools can tap into.
And that's something you might want to just send an email to Dr. Bolson and suggest. That's about the best I can tell you to do, and see what he says about that.
So just to kind of piggyback off of that, so the individual schools, they have autonomy to create different clubs and committees. So my oldest is a sixth grader at Falston Middle School, and I just found out that they actually have a Bible club. So like it really just depends on the school and if they have enough staff to actually be able to lead a club or committee or a specialized group. And of course they have to fall within certain like expectations of the school system, but it's really school to school.
And they have to have that mentor, that teacher who's going to be there to run that group.
Yeah, we have a bunch of programs to answer what you're saying. You have the SOPs in the school, but you have the school counselors, and then we have a lot of new organizations that got funding approved, so they're going into the school system. Will Powell is one, Young Men on Tour, and then you have Susquehanna Workforce.
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. It's
a lot of more mentorship.
How about Turning Point?
Is that for adults?
No, that's
It's for kids and
No,
the school has to request.
Yeah, the school's gonna have to.
Yeah. Thank you, Nolanda.
You're welcome.
Allison, you're up.
All right, well, with Ron not here, I had to share my little bit of fire safety that I learned this past week. So Falston Fire Hall, piggybacked right off of Joppa Magnolia and just did their open house. And at the Falston Fire Hall open house, they did 2 car fire demonstrations. And during the one, I learned that during a normal car fire, they use hundreds of gallons of water. But if it's a Tesla, they use thousands of gallons of water, resulting in tow companies needing to have contracts with dumpster companies because they highly recommend that the Teslas actually get fully submerged in water. Which you guys are obviously nodding. I was totally novice to this information. Yeah, so they can reignite. So you guys have been taught by Ron very well. So on September 30th, there was a very small meeting at the Falston Library, because there is a federal solar grant that is ending. You guys are going to be seeing a whole bunch of pushes for different solar projects, and the majority of them, if they're under like 2 megawattage or something along, they don't have to go through the same county and state approval settings. So there was another one that popped up where they're just kind of in the conceptualized stage of it all, but they're trying to get things pushed through before the federal grant ends. It's called the Project Peters Solar Farm off of Old Joppa Road. Nothing has been approved yet. This was, the only people that got notified were people that live within 300 feet of the proposed plan. But we just got an email earlier today. There's another one off of 543 that they're talking about. There's one up in Churchville that they're talking about. So just kind of have this on your radar. What all of the communities are saying is they don't mind solar, but not in their backyard. There's a lot of questions about why are we using green space instead of brown space. And at the end of the day, the answer is, well, because it costs more money to the builder. So there's a lot of questions that are being asked. But I just want you guys to be aware because this one is proposed off of Old Joppa Road.
Whereabouts?
I can get you the address. There was only like 12 houses that were within about 300 feet of it. It's a farm that's right off of that road, and the woman.
Lots of farms.
I know. I can get you the exact address. Okay. And then on October 3rd, I was able to do a tour of Jerusalem Mill. For anybody who hasn't been out there in a long time, they do some really cool events. They're actually doing one for Dia de los Muertos this year, so Day of the Dead, which is just something that you don't really see duplicated a whole lot around here, so highly recommend. They also do some really cool things this time of year on like Haunted Harford, which I know is a big deal around downtown Bel Air, so I just wanted to kind of share that as well. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we do have quite a bit of legislation that's going before the council, and we're getting public input. The biggest one that's gotten a lot of attention is Bill 25-12. It is a policy or a policy/law that would require arbitration to be available to any county employee for any type of labor discrepancy. So the sheriff's office actually already has their own arbitration in place. So this would be, let's say there's a county employee that is upset that their PTO got taken away, or they're getting terminated or something along those lines. This would require an arbitrator to actually essentially mediate the situation and figure out who's right, who's wrong, and stuff like that. Our biggest concern at this point is I really want to know how many of these cases would come before an arbitrator each year. How much would it cost? That seems to be a lot of the big pushback right now. But again, please feel free to read up on it. There is, it should be documented in my newsletter, and we are accepting community input. So then there, in addition to that, there's also the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund Community Input Session. There's going to be two. This is actually funds that come from the marijuana tax, and they're looking for community input to determine how we would actually spend that within our communities. So the first meeting is October 28th at 6 p.m. at the Edgewood Library. The second one is November 19th at 6 p.m. at the Bel Air Library. This coming Wednesday, sorry, I'm throwing a whole bunch of dates around, I apologize. This coming Wednesday, October 8th, the Board of Elections is actually having an open house, which for anybody who's really curious about, you know, the safety of our elections in Harford County, how the processes work, it's just a really fascinating thing. I was actually able to do a private tour not too long ago. And so their open house is Wednesday, October 8th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's 133 Industry Lane in Forest Hill. So I strongly encourage anyone who has any questions or concerns or just wants to get to know how the election process works. The Maryland Barbecue Blast is coming up this weekend. Maryland Barbecue Bash is coming up this weekend. Anybody who has not driven through or enjoyed this bash, you are missing out. The town of Bel Air smells fantastic. And they literally have barbecue competitors from across the country. So come with an empty belly. And then along the food lines, there's only a few more weeks of the Falston Food Truck Thursdays. They typically have a pretty good turnout, live music, and it's just up the road. Any questions?
I got one. Go ahead, Melissa. I'm just gonna say, Allison, how can we obtain this information, cause it was a lot of good dates.
Sure, I can actually email it to you guys if that would work best.
Okay. Did you have some type of newsletter?
There is a newsletter in the back. Yep. Oh, that's fine. I'll make sure you guys get some. But a lot of the dates should be in there, but there's some that are not. So I can also email it to you. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk to you about what you discussed the last time you were here about the, I think autism school.
Yeah.
I called your office, but nobody called me back, but I'd like information on how people can get in, find out about it.
Sure.
I have a friend that has a kid that's, autistic.
And I
they're gonna
apologize.
put him in another school.
I did get your voicemail. I thought I had called you back, but I might have had the wrong number. I apologize. So the school is currently in a temporary location. They're currently housing the school at the Lutheran Church off of Philadelphia Route 7. While they can get their building all squared away. So I'll get your contact information and I can give you a call with some more.
They get ready to open a new one, you said, right?
So this is actually gonna be the school. They're actually building up the population while they're getting the building all squared away. They were hoping to have the building ready before the beginning of this school year. But the reality is that if any of you've been around when they put in a new school, it is a lot.
So the Lutheran Church, that's where they have to go at in order to.
For right now,
That's
yes.
in Joppatowne?
It's right in Joppa, yeah.
Right off about 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally tucked right behind where the actual school is.
Behind the Wawa.
Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the Wawa.
Trinity Lutheran, yeah.
Trinity Lutheran.
I was in that medical down.
Yeah.
It will be in the medical building.
You're talking about the arbitrator, who's gonna pay? Arbitrator is very expensive.
So that's what the bill is saying. It would be a county bill. Well, technically it would be whoever lost.
It's not bad, but, let me correct something. The arbitrator decides, the mediator suggests. An arbitrator doesn't mediate. There's a mediator, there's an arbitrator. Arbitrator decides, mediator suggests.
Thank you.
On the arbitration issue, do county employees have union representation?
So there's a handful of unions that do represent different types of county employees. So the sheriff's office has a union, the Board of Ed has a union. But I would argue that a lot of them don't. So that's kind of where this all comes, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, to the bill itself, it's not so much the arbitration, it's the keyword binding. So whatever decision that arbitrator makes, it's binding, and that would be in spite of whatever budget you have or not. And, Dion is right about the cost, because years ago, I mean, I've been retired 3 years, I was in the negotiation office, and just to come to the table, each side had to make a $5,000 deposit to have the arbitrator, hear the case. So every group that's represented can take it. There's already Comar code about arbitration process, so I don't know why we would have this except the key word of binding. So the decision back then was if they disagree, here's the decision, both sides need to come back because we don't have the money for what you want, it forces them to compromise. Where in this case, if I say that this side needs this, whether the county, or whatever employer can afford it or not, they're stuck with it. So that's the key why, many of the school systems are members of the Maryland Negotiation Services, and they do not support binding arbitration.
No, I appreciate that. So obviously, of all the bills that are coming up, sorry, no, Linda, this is obviously the one that a lot of people feel very strongly about. So we are having community input sessions coming up, and so we just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But one way or another, if you guys feel strongly, please let us know. Yolanda?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm a mediator by trade, so I know that before coming to see me, you have to put money into it, and then depending on how many sessions. So it is a process. Arbitration, Deanna's right, it is a decision making, like you are gonna go in and make that decision, and then, but still, those negotiations can be costly. But I think the point of why the person put that in is to make sure that everyone had a voice at the table. but how does that look without being expensive, you know? Exactly.
It'll be expensive. Just a question on that, because you're raising arbitration as a cost. Is it cheaper than lawsuits?
And that's something that's fair to ask. At this point, I would love to know just how many of these cases would have come to arbitration in the last year, how many hours of arbitration that would have entailed. And honestly, even if you were to split that in half and, you know, optimistically think that the county wouldn't have had to pay for half of them, what is that number? And, you know, honestly, I think it's fair to ask, how many lawsuits has the county fielded in the last year as well, for similar employment claims? So I think that there's a lot of questions that do need to be asked. And, you know, that's why I definitely wanted to kind of present this one specifically to the group.
Let me suggest something, because it's something I did for 52 years. Lots of arbitration grievances. Let me suggest something. Look into grievance mediation. Okay? Because the federal government does provide mediators that you can get for free. And I had a lot of cases where I suggest to the employer that we go through grievance mediation because we don't have to hire an arbitrator. Arbitrators are very expensive. It's like hiring a judge. He's a judge, okay? But if you take the grievance mediation, the federal mediation, and do it, and get the other side to both agree that, listen, though it's a grievance mediation with the federal government, we can agree ahead of time that whatever that mediator suggests, we can say we can agree to it. So you have, but you have to do it beforehand, because afterwards, somebody's not gonna agree. But check on federal mediation and grievance mediation.
All right, okay. All right, thank you guys.
Did you have somebody who wanted one of these?
I got a text from him. He apologized for not being able to be here. He wanted you all to know that he is right now involved, and he is currently at meetings today, in joint federal relations talks that will benefit the county, and that he's looking forward and asking that you make sure that you give him time next month so that he can bring you those updates. Also, in terms of the state, on October the 15th, the 2025 Maryland Digital Opportunity Summit will be bringing together state leaders, policymakers, practitioners, and community advocates to celebrate progress in advancing broadband, digital skills, and economic opportunities throughout the state. This year's summit carries the theme Investing in Maryland's Future and is designed for workforce development professionals, broadband infrastructure specialists, community leaders, policymakers, educators, business owners, and anyone committed to advancing digital opportunities in the state of Maryland. If you want to participate, it is open to the public. It is going to be an online summit. So if you visit the Maryland Digital Opportunity Summit through maryland.gov, you can get registered for that. And also, he wanted to remind everyone to make sure that you try and get involved. You can see Adam, you can see Angie with some of the issues and needs of the homeless community going forward for the winter months. And he's looking forward to seeing you next month.
Was it the rotating shelter, Aaron?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. Is anybody here from Lauren Erickson's office? Okay, before we get to Aaron.
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot one thing, I'm sorry. It wasn't, I told him I would mention it. I'm surprised you didn't hit it, Mr. Rolanda. Don't forget, October the 18th, pet vaccine clinic, Saturday, October the 18th, 2025, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Falston Volunteer Fire Company. So most of the shots are $10. You can also, they'll be offering nail clipping and microchipping for the pets.
Okay. Bampton, have anything to do on your report?
This Saturday, in addition to our music at the Point, that's free at 2 o'clock at Flying Point. Then we also have our community cleanup, which Mr.
Siemek.
Siemek shared that it's going to be at Deerfield from 8:30 to noon, so that's open to the public. And Jeff graciously agreed to run that because I'll be busy.
Someone's gonna be stuffing her face with barbecue.
I'll be nudging at the barbecue bash. It's a tough job, but somebody's gotta do it, alright? And I'm gonna take a hit for the team.
I understand Melissa's helping at the cleanup too.
I'm gonna be with you.
Yeah,
Jeff.
then she'll also take care of the.
I'm not gonna be there all by myself.
But, I also wanted to share that at a future date, I think the, Edgewood group, they're planning a celebration at the skate park. So we'll work out that calendar, and tentatively it's November 8th, so, and we gotta work out the traffic situation with Copperplex, cause they have a big tournament that same weekend.
Okay. All right, Adam?
Okay. All right, I'm trying to get this done. Quick question for anybody who might want to know. If you were a student at Joppatowne High School who lived in Edgewood and you were on a sports team that got out of practice at 5 p.m., what time would you get to your bus stop at Windsor Valley if you got out of practice at Joppatowne High School at 5 p.m. and then got the blue bus back to Windsor Valley? Any ideas? 7:25 p.m. That's because there's no bus from 5 to 6:30, and so you have to wait at the library for an hour and a half and just kind of kill time for a while, and then transfer at Harbor Freight, and then kill time for a while more until you can finally get the bus back. Harford Transit is doing a good job. They're studying microtransit, but unfortunately, that study seems like it's not going to result in microtransit for all Edgewood residents. It's only going to be for people who stay within Edgewood, Edgewood to Edgewood, not Edgewood to where you might go to school. So Harford Transit encouraged me to get people to tell them that that might be something that we might want to see. So I made a little website at www.joppadhc.org/transit. I have little flyers to save paper that I can hand out, and I'll put them in the back there. But if you think it probably shouldn't take 2 hours and 25 minutes for a student to get home, from Joppatowne to Edgewood, if you could just go to that website and copy the little prompt that I have and send an email to the address that I have, it would be great. If they get 100 emails that all say maybe kids should be able to get home without having to walk up 152 where there are no sidewalks and potentially get hit by cars at 5:30 p.m., that would be a great thing. So I would really appreciate if you do that. Okay. Speaking about the rotating shelter, yes, rotating shelter season is coming up. There are a few churches in Edgewood and the Joppa area that are going to be doing various weeks throughout the shelter. I think Cornerstone is coming back up near 95, and I know Cross Point down at the corner of 24 and Trimble Road, they're going to be doing it as well. I'm not sure if there are any other churches in our area that are doing it besides Joppatowne Christian Church. I do know that they're doing it. In that, we are going to be hosting an open house informational meeting. So if you would like to be involved in that, maybe even more deeply involved in that effort, we're going to be having a meeting on Monday, November 10th at 6:30, and we're going to be talking about various things about how you could be involved in our effort or potentially other efforts in other churches. One other big change that's coming up this year, because I know several people in this room have given us food, we're going to probably be putting together a menu and then telling you in advance, hey, this is what we need. We don't need you to make a whole dinner necessarily, but if you could bring green beans for 40 people, that would be great. And then we'll have sign-ups that way. We've had some guests who have had indigestion problems because of so much pasta throughout the year. So we are trying to limit that and take care of the people that we have in our charge. Two other things coming up soon. The Joppatowne High School Drama Club is presenting Clue on November 20th to the 22nd. So that'll be more information next month, but there will be sponsorship opportunities if you would like to be sponsored in their playbill, or sponsor their playbill and have an ad in there. And then also on the 24th of November, we have tentatively scheduled a Job Development and Heritage Corporation meeting. I think that's all I've got. I will pass these out probably at the door when you leave. Thank you in advance if you send those emails. Any other questions? Cool.
Okay, Jim.
Not too much to add. I'll say one thing happened in Habited Race, which doesn't involve us, up in Tim Tam streets on both sides. Something exploded, blew holes in the houses, cars, and there's not been a word about it in the press or TV or anything, but it happened about a month ago now, and we were trying to get an idea. And I'll give my same pitch about electric vehicles, electric toys. Please unplug them at night. Do not go to bed and have an electric scooter plugged in, please. And then close your bedroom door. That may save your life, all right? And I hope you all have working smoke detectors. We'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Mr. Jim, are you gonna be participating in the, ion battery conference, the online thing they're doing about educating about the safety and the fire hazards with the ion batteries and stuff? The state is having it.
I don't know if Ron's gonna go to it, but that's more for the public and people that haven't been experienced. We've been exposed to ion batteries now for 3 years. And like you heard her mention about, we can put one engine, will take a typical car fire and put it out, but we may need 4 or 5 pieces of equipment and multiple gallons of water to extinguish an electric vehicle.
Yeah, the Joppatowne folks, the Copley Parish is having their fall festival this Saturday, 11 to 4. I usually go to that, it's fun. It is. And you see all these people running around with
colonial
really old costumes, yeah.
It's supposed to be colonial
time. It's different. Fun.
But that's what it is, it's like they dress in
Yeah,
colonial
they do.
costumes.
Some of us don't.
Yeah, well, no.
We wander around like this.
Where's the park, well, where can you park, just any old where you can find
They
a
have
spot?
places, grass.
Yeah, and
There's
if you can find parking on Bridge Drive as you're going up, or. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I was just wondering about
It's right at the,
Yeah, they park.
Church of the Resurrection, right?
Yeah.
Right on, right at the end of Bridge Drive.
And they have a lot of parking, as you come in the
Yeah.
lot, to the right-hand side, there's,
Yeah.
they
They'll
park
park.
cars on the grass.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that much parking available.
It is just for that event.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Okay, so for next month, I'm gonna try and get economic development, and one of the things we wanna do, which Adam suggested, and I'm gonna talk to them personally if as soon as I find out that they're available. We would like for them to come and actually tell us what pitch they use. If they wanna get a business to come to Bel Air and Ballston and Forest Hill, you know, what pitch do they use to the businesses to come in? As opposed to what do they say to a business if they want to come into Edgewood, Joppa? What is the pitch they use to get businesses to come in to us? So as soon as, I'm gonna email Cindy Monday, and as soon as she says yes, we can have economic. She's great about getting these speakers. I will talk to them personally and tell them that is what we would like them to do next month. Okay? Because we know it has to be different for them to say, hey, Red Lobster, don't you wanna come into Bel Air? We'd like to have a really nice sit-down, beautiful restaurant, Joppa Edgewood. So what pitch are they using? I mean, we're getting a trampoline park with, bouncy things, that's great, but,
Who makes those decisions that's what we're gonna get?
I don't know, I guess economic development, we're gonna find out.
Well, not necessarily.
Who does?
So, a business they wanna make money.
Right.
And they do, and that's.
But they reach out.
Yeah, but that should be part of what the, economic development provides us.
Right.
What is it that a business looks for
They coming
to come into the area? So,
Right.
yeah.
And what is it that they're telling them about Bel Air and Ballston and Forest Hill, and what are they telling them about Joppa Edgewood?
Well, have you been to Palace?
Yeah.
They've done an outstanding job remodeling that place.
Right.
It's probably one of the nicest ones in the immediate area. I got one announcement that,
I know that.
okay,
Hang on a minute.
yeah,
Hang on one
they
second.
just asked me to do this.
I know.
The marina
Hang on one second and then you go.
did. Okay.
Go ahead, Lloyd.
No,
They're
she's
gonna have
saying,
a-
hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
We
gotta finish this
Go
one.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Not yet.
I don't wanna challenge the chair.
Go.
I was at the marina today, was talking to the people there, and everything is moving along as slow as it could possibly do, okay? They're not looking at anything, till the spring, but
Right.
the marina part is operational, where the boats are and all, that's open. Everything with the pool and the bar and the stage and the bathrooms they didn't build right and all that, that's all closed, you know. Can't go there for those bathrooms. Anyway, what they're doing is, they're trying to bring some of the community together, they're gonna have a Halloween party on Saturday the 25th, starting at 6 p.m., right, and it'll be at the front area, because they can put up a big tent there. And I know we've had some of our Rumsey Island meetings there, and they put up a big tent, and we have to cook that, so they can do that, so they're playing that, so they're inviting everybody, Saturday the 25th, starting at 6 p.m. at the marina.
I just have a question about the marina. So I know the marina fund is open. What is he doing about the fuel tanks? Because if I had a boat, I wouldn't keep it at the marina if I had to go to Flying Point or Middle River to get gas. What is he doing about that? Anything?
They're working on it because they have a problem with the tanks that are in the ground, because they've been there for a long time. And they're probably, and I would expect they're single, walled. And anything today, it's gotta be double, some triple wall. And, since they got past the grandfathering clause, they now have to either take them out or put a above ground, above ground, which is a good idea.
I will tell you that one of the, you know how one thing affects something else, and the whole thing with their liquor license or whatever.
Yeah.
My son not only has his own group, but he plays with Mood Spoon's big band. They were at the Boston Barrel House yesterday. I saw them in their last concert there, and I called Michael tonight, and I said, I don't know, Michael, there's a bunch of videos on Facebook, didn't look like you had as many people at the concert as you did before. He said that's because it is in fact that they cannot serve liquor.
Yeah.
So they picked the date that they went in, and of course it coincided with Mood Spoons that are already designed to play there. And if you have it, a lot of people, they have a hamburger, want to deal with it.
Well, see, that happened
Yeah.
because the Barrel House
Yes.
was providing the license.
No, I
for the
know,
bar
that's
and
what I'm
the
saying,
marina.
one thing rolls into another, and it affected that.
And that
he
got
said-
shut down.
He said there was a lot of, that when I went the first time, it was so packed that we were lucky we found any place to sit.
Yeah.
He said there were a lot of empty tables yesterday, and that was the reason, so.
That's in the Barrel House?
At the Boston Barrel
Barrel
House.
House. Oh, okay, I
because
wasn't
the same
sure
people
which
had the
place.
liquor license, and
Right.
so it affected them. And so they just have to coincide with the date the Mood Spoons was playing.
Well, the marina, that part shut down until the spring.
Yeah,
Maybe.
piers all falling down on the back.
I know, they.
I am having a report though, that the gentleman that comes from Jerusalem Mill that has entertainment in the spring reached out to Michael, and they will be playing at Jerusalem Mill next season, not Days of Vinyl, not Mood Spoons, but this fall.
Oh, that's good.
Alright, well, listen, okay.
All right, beautiful people. So, this Saturday, if you got bulk trash, as 755 Representative Bantan said, bring it out. Now, this is the other part to it. We cannot accept paint, tires, and hazardous. So, on Saturday, November 15th, 8 a.m. to 12, Household Hazardous Waste Day. And it will be at Harford, you say address is 3139 Scarborough Road. And they'll also do up to 4 boxes per vehicle for your free shredding documents. Get rid of the paper. Now, this one is a bit sensitive, but it's a meeting that's gonna happen, so whatever side you weigh on, come. It is the Edgewood Municipality meeting. It's gonna be October 16th, 6 p.m.
Edgewood Rec Center, 1980 Scarborough, 1980 Brookside Drive, sorry y'all. Sorry. Everybody said we ain't going to landfill. Okay, that one is the 16th, so. 16th. Come out. Come out. All right, that was my spill.
All right, Bob?
I'm good.
Bob's
Still
the rep.
catching up.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we will adjourn the meeting. It is 8:54. You made it.
Yeah, I'll put it on. You know, it's happening.